let's go through an air brake test real quick. See if you can catch it.
Ew, basta. Queens. Thank you.
Take out your notepad. Let's go. Step 1, turn on the... So let's go through an air brake test real quick. See if you can catch up. Take out your notepad. Let's go. Step 1, turn on the engine. Make sure you do a safe start. Step 2, make sure you build up to 120 psi with that governor that we talked about. The governor is going to push air into the tanks. Step 3 is going to be shut the engine off. Step 4 is going to be make sure the truck is secure, whether it's in first gear with the transmission or the wheels are chucked, and then release your air brakes. Step 5 is going to be make sure you wait 1 minute, put your foot on the brake, and you cannot lose more than 4 psi if you're in a tractor trailer class A, or 3 psi if you're in a tractor trailer class B. And you have to make sure you wait that whole minute, because what's actually happening is we're flooding all of those airlines with actual air.
Like and follow for more truck driving tips.
So let's go through an air brake test real quick. See if you can catch up. Take out your notepad. Let's go. Step 1, turn on the engine. Make sure you do a safe start. Step 2, make sure you build up to 120 psi with that governor that we talked about. The governor is going to push air into the tanks. Step 3 is going to be shut the engine off. Step 4 is going to be make sure the truck is secure, whether it's in first gear with the transmission or the wheels are chucked, and then release your air brakes. Step 5 is going to be make sure you wait 1 minute, put your foot on the brake, and you cannot lose more than 4 psi if you're in a tractor trailer class A, or 3 psi if you're in a tractor trailer class B. And you have to make sure you wait that whole minute, because what's actually happening is we're flooding all of those airlines with actual air.
Like and follow for more truck driving tips.
So let's go through an air brake test real quick. See if you can catch up. Take out your notepad. Let's go. Step 1, turn on the engine. Make sure you do a safe start. Step 2, make sure you build up to 120 psi with that governor that we talked about. The governor is going to push air into the tanks. Step 3 is going to be shut the engine off. Step 4 is going to be make sure the truck is secure, whether it's in first gear with the transmission or the wheels are chucked, and then release your air brakes. Step 5 is going to be make sure you wait 1 minute, put your foot on the brake, and you cannot lose more than 4 psi if you're in a tractor trailer class A, or 3 psi if you're in a tractor trailer class B. And you have to make sure you wait that whole minute, because what's actually happening is we're flooding all of those airlines with actual air.
Like and follow for more truck driving tips.
So let's go through an air brake test real quick. See if you can catch up. Take out your notepad. Let's go. Step 1, turn on the engine. Make sure you do a safe start. Step
They'll take a new approach. They'll try something different. Not just putting down floodplains, but making them actually work and being held. But that's that hearing. Lawmakers
Are you wondering if your partner is being honest with you? Just open this app, enter their phone number, and press locate. You will see their real-time location, movement history.
After years of not meeting the mark, they are ramping up hiring, getting the equipment they need to do this kind of work. Here's Flip.
Why'd you come to the police station?
I need a cell.
I love it, first of all. I do. And
Who is it?
It's the police. Can we come inside?
Did you make an appointment?
No.
Then come back tomorrow. Who is it?
It's the police. Can we come inside?
Did you make an appointment?
No.
Then come back tomorrow.
In my opinion, CDL schools and maybe private CDL trainers, an opportunity may exist. Both schools train you to get your license, and you go out there trying to get a job, and you're really not that proficient in any of the skills. So some CDL schools may offer you the training, and then for an extra cost, bring you back after you got your license to get you very proficient, very skillful in alley docking and other skills. And these where other companies might come in who are not CDL schools, but will offer you that training. It might be there because a lot of companies are going to be very picky about who they hire. And having that extra skills also make the CDL schools some extra money on extra training programs and for private individuals to train.
My boy.
What's happening? Is that your dog?
I lost him 3 years ago. Had to give him up.
Whoa. Hey, Rocky, my boy.
What's happening? Is that your dog?
I lost him 3 years ago. Had to give him up.
Whoa. Hey.
Japan, he works all night driving a dumper truck, pushing himself to the limit just to make a living. He, his wife, and their son are living right there on the truck, spending their lives together on the road. When he becomes completely exhausted, he gently touches his sleeping wife to wake her up. As soon as she opens her eyes, she quickly fixes her clothes, gets ready, and moves to the driver's seat to take over. Meanwhile, the tired husband goes to the back seat and lies down beside his son to finally get some rest. It only wants one kind comment in return. Look at this man from Japan. He works all night.
When the mason told the homeowner, "I'll turn the space under your stairs into so much storage,"
Gotta be kidding me. You've gotta be kidding me. Basically, from the moment you actually order your first box of the
Today night I sleep with mommy.
then I also sleep with mom.
No, you go sleep with grandma. She's your mom. This is my mom. Today night I sleep with mommy.
Then I also sleep with mom.
No, you go sleep with grandma. She's your mom. This is my mom. Today night I sleep with mommy.
Then I also sleep with mom.
No, you go sleep with grandma. She's your mom. This is my mom.
92nd Street.
Today night I sleep with mommy.
Then I also sleep with mom.
No, you go sleep with grandma. She's your mom. This is my mom. Today.
Daisy, no!
In a prison cafeteria,
Hope everyone's doing well out there. It's a little chilly out there. January, kind of cold. Health is always a big issue, especially the way I see it. It's a big issue when it comes to trucking. You're a CDL student, and sometimes you may not realize the dangers of trucking, the dangers on the road, but what about the dangers to your health? So in this video, let's talk about sleep. Over the past few weeks, I've been hearing a lot of documentaries about sleep and truck drivers and the general public. What happens when you don't get enough sleep? Your attention, you don't think as clearly as you should. You'll make mistakes and maybe have an accident. if you don't get the proper amount of sleep, and you think, well, I don't need that much sleep, 3 or 4 hours is fine for me. I heard that a lot throughout my trucking career. A lack of sleep
Turn right.
is
Then
the
turn right on
pathway
Queens Boulevard.
to
Service
developing cancer later on in your life, depending what your age is now, as you're entering into the trucking industry. How is that? Well, it's not only cancer, there's a lot of other illnesses and situations with your body. At night, with a good night's sleep, your body regenerates itself. And if you take that away from your body, that 5 or 7, up to 5 to 7, 8 or 8 to 7 hours of sleep, if you take that away, you will pay for it in the long run. You need your sleep, and you have to work on it, especially if you're an over-the-road driver. Don't cut corners. Try to get to sleep. You might not get it every day, but throughout the week, hopefully every other day, you're getting some good quality sleep time. You work on it. I mean, everyone has tips how to fall asleep and how to stay relaxed. So I'm not going to go over the tips. All I'm suggesting on this video is get to sleep. Your life depends on it, especially at an older age. And that's why one of the reasons why so many truckers don't live in their 70s or don't have a quality life in their 70s or 80s, because they didn't have good sleep habits. Okay? See you in the next one. Be safe out there.
I just bought a car with my tax refund and there was actually no drama. Okay.
When a millionaire man returns home from his office and reaches his house gate, he sees a small note stuck in the gate handle. He feels surprised, takes the note and reads it. "Sir, I made a mistake. I hit your car. I was in a hurry, so I could not wait. This is my phone number." After reading the note, he quickly looks at his car. He sees a small dent near the bottom of the gate. He immediately calls the number and says, "I am the owner of the car you hit. My car was parked on the side of the road. The road is very wide. How did this accident happen?" From the other side, a nervous voice says, "Sir, please forgive me." Asks,
serious.
My serious face the second she walked up.
You're going to want to hear about the Unlimited Essentials plan from Google Fi Wireless. It's just $60 a month for 2 lines. And you know we love a budget-friendly milkman. It's got what you need.
How did the military prepare me for trucking? Well, the military teaches you discipline. It teaches you responsibility. It teaches you integrity. It teaches you attention to detail. And all those things are a very, very good platform to apply to the trucking industry as a driver. How did the military prepare me?
This little girl had no idea someone was watching, but her Doberman sensed the danger instantly. He stopped everything and dropped his plushie on the ground, shifting into full protection mode. Look at how his muscles
Turn
tense
right
up as he
to
calculates the
I-495 West Midtown Tunnel,
pure
toll
confidence,
toward
making
Manhattan.
himself a living shield to block the intruder's path. His silence was actually louder than a bark, proving that he would do absolutely anything to keep his best friend safe. This little girl had no
Turn
idea
left
someone
on
was
Hunters
watching
Point
her,
Avenue.
but her Doberman sensed the danger instantly.
An old woman walked into a 5-star
Slow
restaurant.
down.
The
Camera
guard stopped
ahead.
her. Sorry, ma'am. VIPs. Look, this girl got her first job at a restaurant.
A woman comes to throw.
Look, this girl got her first
Speed
job at a
camera
restaurant,
ahead.
and the owner told her
Turn
to cut
left
some
on
potatoes.
48th
But when she
Avenue.
started, she began hitting the machine so hard like she was cutting rocks. But she still couldn't do it. The head chef heard the loud noise and came running. She showed her the right
In
way to use the
500
machine and
feet,
easily cut
turn
the
left
potatoes.
on
But when the girl
47th
tried again,
Avenue.
she still couldn't do it. So the manager said she will fire her if she doesn't get 2 likes. Look, this girl got her first job at a restaurant, and the owner told her to cut some potatoes. But
Turn
when she
left
started,
on
she began
47th
hitting the machine
Avenue.
so hard like she was cutting rocks. But she still couldn't do it. The head chef heard the loud noise and came running. She showed her the right way to use the machine and easily cut the potatoes. But when the girl tried again, she still couldn't do it. So the manager said she will fire her if she doesn't get 2 likes. Look, this girl got her first job.
A woman comes to throw away garbage. In front of her, a girl who collects trash says, "Sister, are you throwing away these cardboard pieces?" The woman says, "Yes." The girl says, "Can I take them?" The woman says, "Yes, take them. I will put them in your bag." The woman puts the cardboard in the bag and leaves. The girl gathers her things and says, "May God keep such kind women happy." Suddenly, the girl sees a red shoe lying there. She says, "Oh, this shoe is so beautiful. It's a pity there is only one. I am barefoot. Let me see if the other one is somewhere." She searches in the trash bin and happily says, "Wow, it's a complete pair. This morning when I left home, I wished I could get shoes. Maybe God heard me." As she starts to wear the shoe, she feels something inside it. "Oh, what is inside this?" She hits the shoe on the ground and a bundle of money falls out. She gets scared and says, "Oh, this is a lot of money. Whose money could this be? Whoever it belongs to must be very worried. I cannot wear these shoes. The owner will surely come to take them. I should wait." After some time, the same woman comes back and starts looking for the shoes. The girl says, "Are these shoes yours?" The woman says, "Yes." The girl immediately returns the shoes. Now the woman starts searching
In
for money
600
inside the shoes. The girl
use the
becomes
left
sure
lane
that
to
the
turn
money
left
belongs
on
to her.
Thompson
The girl
Avenue.
says, "There was money inside the shoes. I kept it safely so no one else would take it. Here, you can count it." The woman happily says, "There is no need to count. While cleaning, I thought these were old shoes and threw them away, but they belonged to my mother-in-law. She started crying because she had hidden her savings inside them. Old people often keep money like this. Thank you very much. Here, take some money." The girl says, "No, sister, I cannot take it. If I were greedy, I would have left long ago. I was waiting for you." The woman feels impressed and says, "May God bless you." Then she looks at the girl's bare feet and says, "You are still barefoot? The weather is cold too. Keep these shoes. I don't need them." The girl starts crying. The woman comforts her and gives her the shoes. She starts wearing them. Now the woman counts some money and puts it into the girl's bag. She says, "I saw bottles and cardboard in your bag. Nowadays, the price of some bottles has increased. Go home and separate them before selling. You will get more money." The girl says, "Yes, sister, I will sort them at home. You are very kind." Then the girl leaves. A trash collecting girl returns.
Loading a
Maybe the best hit.
loading a 10-speed gears to by twos. First gear. Third gear.
A girl is sleeping in her car when her foot slips off the brake. The car starts rolling backward. A poor man nearby sees this, throws down his chips and other items, and runs towards the car. He reaches the car, opens the door, gets inside, and immediately applies the brake. Just then, the girl wakes up. She says, "Who are you? Why have you gotten into my car?" The man replies, "I just saved your life." The girl pushes him forcefully and says, "You can't..."
Listen, you can't become a skilled CDL truck driver with just 5 days of training. Cut me a break. But what you can do in that 5 days is you can learn how to pass the pre-trip, backing, and road at CDL Truck Services. We'll also set up a test for you and take one of the trucks to the DPS for you to test in. Listen, you can't become a skilled
This dog stopped an entire school bus full of children from crossing a bridge because it was Tuesday morning and the bus was making its regular route carrying 40 kids to class. So the bus pulled up to the old bridge it crossed every single day. But the moment the bus started onto the bridge, the dog ran in front of it. The driver honked repeatedly, but the dog didn't move. Parents waiting at the next stop called to complain about delays. So the driver got out frustrated and tried to shoo him away. But every time he approached, the dog grabbed his sleeve and pulled him backward off the bridge. Children inside the bus started crying, so the driver called the police. Moments later, an officer arrived and tried moving the dog, but the dog suddenly started barking louder than anyone had heard, and he tried to move the bus backwards. The bus driver was confused, but ended up driving a bit backwards. Right then, the bridge cable snapped and the entire middle section collapsed into the river. The dog had heard the metal cables breaking one strand at a time from overnight storm damage. Every child was safe thanks to this dog. Is he a hero? This dog stopped... All right, this feels almost illegal to know, but our windows were so old.
Excuse me, ladies.
Just throw lemon peels in the toilet and you'll be amazed at what happens next. To begin, you'll need 3 lemons. Yes, lemons. Cut them in half and squeeze out all the juice. You can save the juice for another use, because for this tip, we only need the peels. Lemon peels are the real secret here. Now, grab a blender and add all the lemon peels inside. I'm using the peels of about 5 lemons to maximize the effect. Then pour in half a liter of room temperature water. Next, add 2 tablespoons of table salt. Now, cover the blender and blend everything until the lemon peels are completely crushed. Lemons are natural cleaning powerhouses. Once everything is well blended, strain the liquid using a fine strainer. This is the magic potion. For an extra cleaning boost, I like to add 1 tablespoon of baking soda to make this solution even more powerful. Now transfer the liquid to a convenient container. I'm using an empty dish soap bottle for easy application, but any container will work. Even expensive store-bought cleaners haven't been able to remove them completely. Close the bottle tightly and our secret cleaner is ready. Now let's put it to the test. Look at my toilet, stains everywhere. But watch what happens when we use this simple homemade trick. It fights dirt, removes stains, and kills bacteria. Don't forget to follow for more tips and share this with someone who needs it.
In a quarter of a mile, turn left on Jackson Avenue. In 0.2 miles, use the left lane to turn left.
Truckers. Trucker Steve here. This is what makes the student happy, the examiner happy, and your instructor happy. When a student looks in the mirror, hopefully properly adjusted, he looks straight down, and on the blind side, parallel park, he has the second cone. He has a great setup.
This guy bought a cheap water tank. If you feel an itchy anus at night, there's something alive inside you, and it feeds off what you eat. If your gut always feels bloated, it's not just gas, it's an infestation. If you wake up tired even after 8 hours of sleep, it's not laziness. It's a parasite draining your energy. If your tongue is white, your skin itches for no reason, or you can't shake off yeast.
I agree with the president. I think we need to move forward. I like this Syria model where you put someone in charge. Necessarily, it's not someone that you like, but it's
a former terrorist?
But it's, you know what? It's someone on a short leash. Because I don't like the idea of putting a puppet in there that we then have to coddle. We have to worry that they're going to try to make nice with people. We spend too much time and blood doing those things.
Your point is put somebody there that
you could hold accountable.
That would make sure that they are held accountable.
You
That's
have
the
to
key,
pledge
Tony.
there is no nuclear. You're not going to go nuclear. You're not going to bomb Israel. You're going to play nice with your neighbors. After those three things, I don't care.
In 1.3 miles, exit right to FDR Drive North, 1st Avenue, Uptown.
If you have a choice.
You don't want democracy in that neck of the
I'm
woods.
not saying we want it. I'm not saying we want it. I'm not saying we want a forever war or any of that other stuff. That's not where I'm going.
So what do you get? So-called more moderate mullah? Is that what you're asking for?
Right, Tony. Go ahead, Judge.
You're going to have the Islamists continue to control that? All those people who threw down their lives and Trump said, help is on its way. We have your back, and they're going to keep the same regime in place. Just somebody's going to play nicer with us. Is that what you're talking about?
If they do those three things, it's not my job.
Well, but the president made a commitment to have their backs to these people and to free them from his Islamist tyranny. What are you going to do about that? And I think that's how simple Rosenberg feels too.
Yeah, and you know what? I hear what you're saying, Tony, but I agree with the judge.
I don't want
Excuse me,
people
do I have to
tyranny.
apologize to anybody for that?
No, you don't have to apologize to anybody, Judge.
All right.
Ever.
We have
Chad Wolf.
Chad
Let's go
Wolf
to
on.
in fact,
He knows something about what's going on.
Yep, let's go to breaking news with them.
Breaking news, WABC.
And joining us now is the former acting Secretary of Homeland Security, Chad Wolf. Chad, this is Rita Cosby. So great to have you on here with me and John Tony Carbonetti and Judge Weinberg. Chad, first off, let's get right to the big news of the day. This shakeup at the Department of Homeland Security. Your reaction?
Yeah, it's good to be on with you guys. Look, obviously, President Trump decided that they needed a change in direction and a change of leadership. I think we saw this coming when he put Tom Homan in charge in Minneapolis, a little over a month ago. And then there's just been a series of unfortunate incidents that have overshadowed the great success and progress that the Trump administration has made when it comes to securing the border and removing dangerous people from the country. And I think this is an issue that the president should be winning on by large numbers. And I think I think they were looking at all this and decided to make a change.
What do you know about Mark Wayne Mullen? I've interviewed Mark Wayne, to talk about him in terms of his qualities. He's a real fighter, and you definitely need a real fighter right now, given all the dynamics with Homeland Security.
Yeah, I've interacted with the senator on a number of occasions, particularly when he was in the House, and since he's been in the Senate. Look, I think he understands. He's a first a patriot, loves America. I think he understands the threats facing the homeland, given his time on the Armed Services Committee, and he's been great on border security and immigration enforcement. So, look, I think he'll learn the department very quickly, and by all accounts, I think he's going to be a great secretary.
In 0.2 miles, use the right lane to exit right.
Chad Wolf, the former acting Secretary of Homeland Security, that just a few minutes ago, John was just saying how the Democrats wouldn't, have funding for DHS. We're in the middle of everything going on.
Exit right to FDR Drive North, 1st Avenue, Uptown.
Now we have a new secretary coming in, and the Democrats won't even do funding for the Department of Homeland Security.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine that the United States can essentially be at war with a
In 800 feet, turn right on East 60th Street.
We wouldn't dream about funding the Department of War, and we shouldn't do it with the
Turn right on East 60th Street. Street.
The threats facing the homeland, while they're not as significant as being in harm's way in Iran doing the operations right now, there are real threats, and we need all employees of the department fully focused on their mission and not wondering about where their next paycheck is going to come from, which will eventually be the case the longer this draws on.
Yeah, no doubt. I can't believe that they're playing politics with it. Judge Weinberg.
It's good to talk to you, Chad. The problem to me is Biden let in millions of people, unvetted. We don't know who they are. They were let loose in our country. Some of them have gang affiliations, cartel affiliations, even Chinese and Iranian terrorist affiliations. And we're not going to fund and protect this country. What is it going to take for the Democrats to come to their senses? Another terrorist attack?
Well, that's a good question. What's it going to take for them to come to their senses? The question is, do they have senses? It's a great question. I mean, we saw what 4 years of Joe Biden did to the country, and specifically to the border. 18,000 known or suspected terrorists approached that border and came over that border during 4 years of Joe Biden. And I can guarantee you a lot of them are still here in the country, and that includes Iranians and others. And I think that's the major concern is it's very difficult.
Estimated time in traffic, 9 minutes.
They are and vet them after the fact. You have to do it beforehand, and you have to be able to prevent them from coming into the country to begin with, because then it's just so difficult otherwise. And that's where, unfortunately, the Trump administration finds itself. And it's doing great work to try to identify and keep everyday Americans safe. But as I said at the time, the consequences of the 4 years of President Biden and what he did, allowing individuals to come into the country.
Turn right on 3rd Avenue.
Them in, that the country would be impacted for years and years to come, and unfortunately, we're likely to experience that this year.
Chad Wolf, too, in the midst of all this, with this new shakeup that's clearly happened at the Department of Homeland Security with Kristi Noem and Mark Wayne Mullen, I was watching some of the Democrats' reaction today, and a number of them came out. It just happened recently, as we know, and they were like, oh, that's good. But now we need big changes still at Department of Homeland Security. Like one scalp we got. I heard one of them say that. And now we also have to do, they still are fighting for changes in Department of Homeland Security, which is this holdup, demasking the ICE agents, saying that they, restricting where they can go and can't go. I mean, it's really, to me, shocking at a time, first of all, when they're trying to do their jobs, and two, at the time where we're at red alert levels, as you know all too well, Chad.
That's right. I mean, a lot of those, quote, reforms that they put forward and are still advocating for are not serious reforms. These are things that would neuter ICE agents and officers from doing their job, and I think in large part that's what the Democrats want to see. They don't like immigration enforcement. They never have. They didn't under President Obama or Biden. And they're trying to get a number of things written into law so that when you have another Republican president, that they can't do anything about it because then it's law. So I think we're at a real impasse here because President Trump knows this, he understands this, and he understands that you got to give the tools to those law enforcement officers to remove dangerous people. And so, the Democrats are going to have to change their tune here if they want to see any of their requests entertained by the administration.
Tony Carbonetti?
Chad, I think what you just said is brilliant. The dangerous people. What the senator should do his first day in Homeland is go to each governor and say, I'm looking to remove the dangerous people from your state, the dangerous illegal immigrants. Okay, those are the ones
common
I want to
sense.
right.
Thing to do.
We don't want to go to Home Depot. And
80% of all Americans. 80%.
But call the Democratic governors out. Are you telling me, Newsom, you don't want me? And here's the list of felons that are in your state that are illegal. You don't want them out?
Tony, I actually think they should go even further. I think they should put it out publicly and say,
here's the list.
Right,
Tony, you're the youngest guy here. I
Here's
think we
the
should
list.
run you for office.
God forbid. No, but do what Trump did at the State of the Union. Call them out. You don't want me to throw these people out? Is that what you're saying?
And make it public, too. Chad, what do you think?
Yeah, here's the game that they're playing, right? Because what Democrats will say is that the Trump administration is only removing, or the people of the population that they are removing, only 14% are violent criminals. And they do this on purpose because violent criminals is a term of art. It's defined in statute who is violent and who is not. Well, I can tell you someone that's a human trafficker is not classified as a violent offender.
Really?
Right? And so what the Trump administration has said is, look, we're gonna remove everyone that's a national security and public safety threat. And so someone that has 6 DUIs is likely going to have another DUI and can kill someone. That is a public safety threat, but is not classified as a violent offender. And so it's really important that the Democrats know that they're playing with semantics here, and they cook the numbers so that it has a negative impact or a negative view of what the Trump administration is doing. So the Trump team needs to get out there more and say public safety threats, national security threats. Here's who that includes, and here are the numbers that we're removing that fit in those categories.
I want to go back to what you just said.
Selling of women into prostitution is not violent?
Yeah, Chad, is that correct? That human trafficking is not considered? Explain that again. Our jaws dropped.
Yeah, so there's a number of crimes that are, I mean, obviously they're felonies. But they're not considered quote unquote violent crimes. I mean, obviously murder.
That's ridiculous.
And a few others are. But there's a whole host of other crimes that are bad, are public safety threats that you don't want anywhere around your children or people that you love or in your community, but aren't classified using FBI statistics as violent crimes. And that's where they get this 14%. And so what the American people need to understand is that there are still public safety threats out there that that DHS needs to be able to pick up that don't fit nicely in this little category that the left wants to look at, but is still really important.
Was there a reclassification during the Biden years or something? I mean, that's ridiculous that would not be classified as violent.
That is stunning. That is stunning. Well, Chad, thank you so much. The former acting Secretary of Homeland Security, Chad Wolf, really great to have you here, Chad, on such an important day. We love having you.
Thank you very much.
Guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much. And now, you guys, let's go to former FBI supervisory agent, one of the great security analysts, and he's also a Fox News contributor. He's going to be joining us in a minute.
He's also a mayor.
Yeah, that's right. He's also a mayor. That's right. We're calling him back, actually, because it just dropped off. He's in the middle of it all. But now we have him, James Galliano. James, great to have you here. First off, any comments about, big changes, as you probably saw today, with the Department of Homeland Security? Kristi Noem is out. Markwayne Mullin is in, at least for nomination. Everybody thinks he'll sail through because it's before the Senate, and it's a simple majority.
They always do their own, don't they?
Yeah, they always do their own. But he's a good guy, too. So, James, how does this kind of affect Homeland Security if maybe there's a lack of, or at least changes ahead?
Well, Rita, first of all, great to join you guys. And I think it's important to know what falls under Homeland Security. So it's Customs and Border Protection. It's ICE. It's the United States Secret Service. It's TSA at the airports. It's FEMA in the event we have a natural disaster. It's CISA. It's the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. It's all these critical components. And look, as a young FBI agent in the mid-90s, I sat through, I think, a 3-week government shutdown that affected the FBI. And in 2013, I was in Mexico and sat through a 16-day government shutdown. So counterproductive. I think it's dangerous that we put these folks in these positions where they're either furloughed, if they're considered non-essential, or they're required to work without pay. It absolutely makes no sense, and it's certainly not making us safer.
Yeah, and speaking of making us safer, talk about what you think are the biggest threats right now on the homeland, because a lot of folks in Intel are saying it's sort of like red alert. You've got, there's a guy, by the way, today who was in court in New York, Pakistani, who they believe, via the Iranians, was trying to kill President Trump. I mean, there are so many of these threats all over the place.
Absolutely, and the 4 main ones, and it really doesn't change, are Russia, China, North Korea, and you guessed it, Iran. And obviously, with the ramped-up war that's going on over there that the United States and Israel are conducting against the Iranian mullahs over there, it certainly brings more threats to the homeland. Look at what just happened in Austin,
you know, you got to worry about, just like you said, the lone wolf cyber attacks. What about cyber?
Absolutely. And remember, I think, you know, for your listeners to kind of get a grasp of what we mean by sleeper cells. Sleeper cells are, generally speaking, you know, agents or agent provocateurs that these other nations, hostile nation states, I named them, Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, and a number of others, will try to get their people to come across the border, you know, to come into the United States, and that's why border security is so critical. We have a 5,000-mile border between us and our northern neighbors. We have a 2,000-mile border between us and Mexico. And look, there's three things they're setting out to do: sabotage, espionage, and terror attacks. And obviously terror attacks are the most concerning because they usually involve the deaths of innocents, but sabotage and espionage are equally nefarious and things that we have to be concerned about.
Yeah, definitely. Tony Carbonetti, your thoughts?
No, I think right now we're susceptible to, I mean, I just took the train back from D.C., and I worry all the time that, you know, a sleeper cell, a lone wolf can do something. So, you know, I think right now everyone should keep their eyes open and say something when you see something. That's what we need to do.
You're absolutely correct. That's, and the FBI, do they have, I know they had set up a special hotline in Tucson. Do they have a special hotline for that?
Well, you can call any of the, I think there's 56 field divisions across the country. You can call any of them. They're open 24/7. They have operators that stand by in the event that somebody has a tip or sees something suspicious. And John, that's really, really critical and important. And remember this, I mean, just like the point about being on the train, terrorists are like water. Criminals are like water. They always follow the path of least resistance. So when we make our, you know, we make our baseball stadiums or our presidential inauguration events or our big events, we make them very robust in the security realm. What does somebody want to do? He wants to go to a soft target. So those are the kind of things where you need to have your head on a swivel.
You know, John brought up also Tucson. Any update, by the way, on what's going on with that real quick before we go? I know you spent a bit of time there with the whole Nancy Guthrie case. It's 33 days I saw today, James. I can't believe it.
Yeah, I spent 2 weeks out there, Rita, and I feel like the last time we spoke, I feel like there are no new updates. I know that there are upwards of 40,000 tips that have come in. Obviously, law enforcement knows more than we do, obviously, up here on the outside, but it just doesn't seem like they have a person of interest or a suspect yet. It's got to be just gut-wrenching for Savannah Guthrie and her family.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so sad. It is just, I remember, James, when you and I were talking, we were like, okay, could this be it? When they found a glove, could this be it? And here we are. Wow. Keep us posted. James, we love having you. James Galliano, former FBI supervisory special agent and also Fox News contributor.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Rita. Thanks, guys.
And what are we doing now? We have Senator Kramer calling in?
Yeah, he's calling in right after the break.
All right, let's wait for after the break. Let's take that break now.
You talk, we listen. 77 WABC.
The Tunnel to Towers Foundation honors the sacrifices of America's heroes. Heroes like U.S. Army Specialist Andy Keith Kingsley. Andy was part of the 82nd Airborne Division. He received various awards and decorations, including a Purple Heart. While deployed, Andy was catastrophically injured in combat. Andy and his family received a mortgage-free smart home from Tunnel to Towers. But many more heroes like Andy need your support. Donate $11 a month and amplify your impact by donating your car or land. Go to T2T.org.
Did you know that St. Luke's University Health Network, based in the Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, has been recognized by the U.S. government as the highest performing health system in the United States for quality? You heard right. St. Luke's #1 recognition affirms our status as the top leader among the most respected healthcare providers in the nation, including Houston Methodist and the Mayo Clinic. To state it simply, if you want to receive the best care when you go to a hospital, come to St. Luke's.
This is 77 WABC Newsroom Extra.
New York City is launching its historic free childcare program for 2-year-olds. Mayor Zohran Mamdani plans to bring free childcare for all.
This commitment to universal childcare has the potential to supercharge our economy. We will support and grow our workforce, we will grow our tax revenue, and we will grow as a city.
Governor Hochul says the state chipped in $73 million for the first 2,000 2K seats.
We're shaping a better New York.
that our kids are going to inherit. Their children will not have to struggle like my own children are today. That era is over.
The free 2K program will start this fall with 2,000 seats in Washington Heights, Inwood, Fordham, Kingsbridge, and a handful of East Brooklyn and Queens neighborhoods. I'm Lisa Ritchie, 77 WABC News.
A common sense recap of the day's biggest stories. It's John Catsimatidis and Rita Cosby. Katz and Cosby on 77 WABC. Breaking news, WABC.
And a lot of big news coming on the war against Iran. And John, why don't you bring in? We've got Senator Kevin Cramer calling in.
Calling in right now, we have Senator Kevin Cramer from the great state of North Dakota. And Senator, there's so many things going on. Where do you want to start?
I think we have to start right with this incredible, courageous move that President Donald Trump made. I think his timing was perfect in making the decision to take out Iran's nuclear capabilities and ballistic missile capabilities. Maybe pave the way for hopefully significant regime change going forward. I think it's a geopolitical move that's going to have lots of ramifications, certainly some risk. You never take this level of kinetic action without risk, but I also think it comes with some tremendous rewards, not the least of which is peace in a region that has been looking for some stability for a very long time. Now it's going to be up to the people of Iran, and I think their neighbors, I think the Arab neighbors who certainly now are in the fight whether they want it to be or not because the United States dragged them in, but because Iran has dragged them in by attacking their bases in their countries. But so there are huge geopolitical moves taking shape, really tectonic shift, if you will, in the Middle East, which I think could shake out very favorably, not just for peace and stability, but for economic opportunity, for alliances among and as you often refer to Middle Eastern countries as our frenemies, but our frenemies are quickly becoming our friends. And I think one of the things that doesn't get talked about nearly enough, John, is that Donald Trump really paved the way for a lot of this by befriending some unlikely Arab partners when he did the Abraham Accords in the first term. When Jared Kushner was leading that charge, getting countries like the UAE, to not just agree, but to become part of the Abraham Accords, to have normal relations, international relations, not just with the United States, but with Israel. And the more that gets normalized, the Morocco was, I think, next.
You need Chicken Rock Protection exclusively from Home Title. We monitor the title to your home 24/7 and send you an urgent alert if there's
allowing Iran to keep a ship in the Red Sea that was spying on American forces and turning the Houthis and other Iranian-supported groups loose to go after American servicemen and women, killing and injuring several in that process. But then Donald Trump came back and put the hammer down. Now, one of the things I think, John, that we don't talk about enough, doesn't get enough attention, that is Donald Trump. It was a year ago this month, as you and I speak, it was a year ago that he sent a letter to the Ayatollah pleading with him to come to the negotiating table to talk about reducing their nuclear capabilities and for some favorable terms. But they wouldn't negotiate, never came to the table, pushed back, stalled, pretended, stalled some more. And then, of course, ultimately, when it was clear that they were heading toward a nuclear weapon,
Senator,
and more importantly, the capability to deliver it.
Senator, I know President Trump for 45, 50 years, and the art of the deal, he knew how to make a deal. And people that make the deal with him, and he shakes their hands, he means it, and they know he means it. And they trust him. Whether it was North Korea, he's disappointed in Putin, but they have an understanding at least. The one thing I like about Putin, no matter how much he threatens, he's smart enough not to start a nuclear war.
I think it's a very important point about Putin that you're just making, because by the way, it is a certain amount of leverage that he holds, because who wants nuclear war? Nobody. Not even a small nuclear weapon. One launched at one place in Ukraine would be awful. So you're right. It's an important point to highlight that Donald Trump has prevented that from happening, while at the same time keeping everybody at bay, keeping everybody at the negotiating table. So it's a great example. I think with Iran, though, he ran out of time to give them any more choices because they were, fast forwarding into a nuclear capabilities. Midnight Hammer, John. Speaking of art of the deal, now I may not be the world's greatest business person and negotiator, but I do know this: if something happened to me, like what happened to Iran's nuclear capabilities on the night of Midnight Hammer and the 12-day war that Israel, paved the way for, I would say, okay, this guy's serious. I wouldn't screw with him anymore. But even after that, the Ayatollah kept, stalling, and finally the president did.
Well, they wiped out the leadership of Ayatollah the first time. They wiped out the leadership of the Ayatollah the second time. And who's volunteering to be on the third deck?
Well, evidently the Ayatollah's son, which is, kind of remarkable.
If it was me, I'd say, not me.
Yeah. I'm gonna
don't sell any life insurance to him.
Well, John, what's interesting about that whole episode, the thing I think sometimes we forget is that the regime in Iran, the reason they're different than so many of the other Islamic states, the Arab states, is that they are radical Islam. They are, their theology is more important than anything, and in their mind, martyrdom is better than peace. It's better than life, and so it's hard to have a rational debate or discussion or negotiation with somebody for whom death is a better outcome than life. Now, I believe that as a Christian, but I still don't want to accelerate it. And these guys just never came to the table. They'd rather die spectacularly than live in humble peace. So he did what he had to do, and I think it's to the benefit of the world.
Well, Senator Kevin Kramer, thank you so much for coming on, and let's catch up again real soon.
I look forward to it as always, John. Thank you.
Wow, great discussion. I love Senator Kevin Kramer, and it's going to be interesting to see where all of this goes, guys. And here are some more of the big headlines of the day.
It's the top news of the day. Here's Rita Cosby.
Well, furthering your great discussion there, John, with Senator Kevin Kramer, President Trump says that he must have a role in choosing Iran's next supreme leader. Tony has some ideas. We heard them earlier.
Leader, not
yeah. Well, no, that's how they're phrasing it exactly, which is why we don't. We don't want a supreme. No supremes.
Lloyd's of London is not selling them life insurance.
Yeah, exactly. Good point. Hit 1, hit 2, hit 3. But the president told Axios that the son of the late supreme leader is an unacceptable choice. I would agree with him on that. Trump told reporters at the White House this week that most of the people we had in mind are dead when he asked about potential picks to succeed Khamenei. And also, Kristi Noem is out as Secretary of Homeland Security. In a post on Truth Social, President Trump said he picked Oklahoma Senator Mark Wayne Mullen to replace her. And coming up, we're going to talk to Congressman Jim Jordan about a whole bunch of stuff. And we got so much more on Katz and Cosby. Boy, is it a busy news day. We're glad you guys are with us.
You never know who's going to be on the Katz Roundtable. Go around the world in 2 hours every Sunday morning at 8 with the Katz Roundtable, where common sense prevails on 77 WABC.
WABC! 77 WABC chime time is 5:34.
Hey, it's the Good Grief Spiro, and as a former police officer, I've dedicated my life to excellence in service. That's why Good Greek is a National Mover of the Year and trusted for decades. So whether you're retiring to Florida or looking for the Texas lifestyle, Good Greek Van Lines can take you anywhere in the country on time and on budget. Good Greek is your official mover when it comes to best-in-class relocations. For your best move, coast to coast, go to goodgreek.com.
Good Greek, moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
WABC Traffic and Transit.
Sponsored by D'Agostino and Associates, the injury firm. Call 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222. At the outbound GW Bridge, 20-minute delays, 10 to 15 at the outbound Lincoln, and up to 20 at the Holland. North on the New York State Thruway before exit 12, there's an accident. And believe it or not, crews are doing pothole repairs on the northbound Whitestone Expressway. They're around 48th Avenue. In New Jersey, west on 280 slow into exit 16E with a crash, and delays on the downtown B, D, N, and Q trains from a track fire. That's 77 WABC Traffic and Transit. I'm Lisa Ritchie.
D'Agostino & Associates is a legacy firm, and I'm proud to be a part of that legacy. I'm Jenna D'Agostino, and like my father, I fight to get justice for the injured. Call our team first at 1-800-BITE-BACK. That's 1-800-248-3222.
You're listening to the #1 Nielsen-rated Cats and Cosby. Thank you for listening. 77 WABC. You're commuting home with Katz and Cosby. Now, here's John Katzimatidis and Rita Cosby on 77 WABC.
All right, with us today is Jim Jordan, the chairman
of the House Judiciary.
And
Love that.
he knows what's going on in Judiciary. Well, Mr. Chairman, give us an update. What the heck is going on?
Well, we had a big markup today on this sanctuary city bill, which would stop this crazy practice. So think about this: 18 cities, 11 states, 3 counties, the District of Columbia are in what's called sanctuary jurisdictions. But the population of those, because they're big cities, it's a big blue state. It's almost a third of the country lives in a jurisdiction where left-wing political leaders, if you could use the term leader, left-wing political folks put in place policies that say local law enforcement can't work with federal law enforcement. So we passed legislation today to stop that. Good bill. And understand again, what happens is you'll have someone who's here illegally, they commit some or charged with some crime, they're in custody. ICE will send, federal law enforcement will send what's called a detainer to the local jail, to the local detention center, and say, hey, if you're going to release this individual, give us a heads up. Just call us and we'll come apprehend them. We'll come get them at the jail versus having to go do it in the street. And last year, 17,864 times a sanctuary jurisdiction would not do that. They instead released that same individual, to the street and made ICE go round them up on the street. That is how stupid this policy is.
And how many crimes did those 17,000 people commit, and how many people did they hurt?
Great point. Several. We think thousands. We don't have an exact number, but we think thousands of those individuals went out and then committed some crime and harmed someone. And in our bill, we create a private right of action and say if that happened to you or to someone in your family, you can bring a cause of action against the government that allowed that person to be released and then caused you harm.
How about being able to, what some of the people are trying to do to the police department, make them personally responsible? Well, why don't we reverse it on them and make them personally responsible? If a judge lets somebody out that shouldn't be let out and goes out and kills somebody, then that judge should be responsible.
Well, the judge in Milwaukee from last year, the judge who let the bad guy go out the back door when ICE was coming in the front door to apprehend them, that judge is facing a criminal prosecution for that action.
Yeah, she helped us.
Exactly.
Yeah, we have Judge Weinberg with us here. He's gonna, let's see if he defends.
A real judge.
Yeah, true judge.
Mr. Chairman, good to talk to you again.
Good to be with you, Judge.
So, I agree sanctuary cities are bad public policy, they're dangerous, they're against public safety. I also believe they're absolutely, positively unconstitutional. But the question I have for you, after it gets through the House, and I'm confident you'll be able to shepherd this through the House of Representatives, what's the likelihood of success in the Senate that passes this law?
Yeah, we will see. I do think, again, when you think about the fact that slightly over two-thirds of the country aren't in a sanctuary jurisdiction. Local law enforcement is happy to, when asked by ICE to just give them a heads up, they're happy to do that. I mean, local law enforcement works with federal law enforcement all the time on so many matters. And many places will set up what's called a 287G agreement where they will agree at the local level, we are going to assist ICE. We have a working relationship, a good agreement where we will assist you in this, with dealing with detainers and a host of other things. So I would hope, but this is the Senate, and right now there's a bill over there that says you should be a citizen if you're going to vote. You should show photo ID if you're going to vote. And that doesn't seem to be able to get 60 votes in the Senate, so we'll just have to wait and see.
You know, Chairman Jim Jordan, one of the things we had on yesterday, Senator James Langford, he had a great line where he said, sadly, that the Democrats hate ICE more than they hate Iran. I mean, it really seems, I can't even imagine what you guys are dealing with when you have folks there that they seem more concerned whether ICE has a mask on or not versus the mullahs.
Yeah, I mean, look, the tragedy that happened in Minnesota we're just at, we never want those kind of things to take place, but this environment that's been created in sanctuary jurisdictions where and the rhetoric from the left, I mean, I think it's what's, think about ICE agents. They've been doxxed, they've been tracked, they've been sworn at, they've been screamed at, they've been spit on, they've been injured, they've had death threats to them, death threats to their family, all that happened to them, and yet the Democrats say, oh no, but we still don't want local law enforcement simply honoring a detainer notice from the federal government. No, we don't want you to do that. It makes it's literally one of the dumbest policies I have ever seen, but that's today's list.
Rita,
Tony Carbonetti.
I think 90% of the time now when you ask these questions, I'm going to give you the same answer. Oh, people are crazy. I mean, he was so right when he said that. Your thinking is so backwards if you believe that.
Right. Well, they couldn't stand up for the Medal of Honor recipients, you know.
If you believe your first order of business is not to protect the American people, why are you there?
Yeah, and also, by the way, Chairman, too, yesterday you guys had that big hearing with Tim Walz. And Tim Walz did the Sergeant Schultz defense. He was like, I know nothing, you know, and he was presented with such, I was watching your questioning, you were masterful, by the way, and you did a great job, but he was like, wouldn't even admit to anything.
Well, the court took the unprecedented step of issuing a statement from the court.
So now I'm going to perform a safe start. First I'm going to turn the key forward, watching my gauges cycle. I'm checking for my ABS light. It came on, it went off. This indicates that my vehicle is equipped with anti-lock brakes. So now I'm going to perform my safe start. Making sure my shifter is in neutral. My brakes are both on. I will depress my clutch. Start the vehicle. Okay? Slowly lifting up off of my clutch. First I'll check my dashboard, my gauges, my temperature gauge, my oil pressure gauge, and my voltmeter. My air pressure gauges are rising to governor cutout between 120 and 140 psi. Now I'll move to my steering wheel. My left signal, right signal, high beams. My name is Nikita. I'm going to start the in-cab pre-trip for 160. First thing I'm going to check is my seat belt. It is properly mounted and secured, not damaged, no rips or tears. It latches, it releases, and it's adjusted for me, the driver. The second thing, I have an ABC rating fire extinguisher to my left. It is properly mounted and secured, not damaged. There is no leaks, and it is fully charged with the pin in it. I have 3 red reflective triangles and spare fuses in my cab. So now I'm going to perform a safe start. First, I'm going to turn the key forward, watching my gauges cycle. I'm checking for my ABS light. It came on, it went off. This indicates that my vehicle is equipped with anti-lock brakes. So now I'm going to perform my safe start. Making sure my shifter is in neutral. My brakes are both on. I will depress my clutch and start the vehicle. Okay, slowly lifting up off of my clutch. First, I'll check my dashboard, my gauges, my temperature gauge, my oil pressure gauge, and my voltmeter are all rising to normal operating ranges. My air pressure gauges are rising to governor cutout between 120 and 140 psi. Now I'll move to my steering wheel. My left signal, right signal, high beams, 4-way flashers, they're all working properly. my city horn, my air horn is all working properly. Okay, so now I'll move over here to my heat and defrost. It works on all fan speeds. Right, now I move outside to my mirrors. My mirrors are properly mounted and secured. They are not damaged. No chips, cracks. They are clean and adjusted to me, the driver. My windshield is properly mounted and secured. There is no damages, no chips or cracks. There is no illegal stickers and no obstructions to my view. The last thing is my windshield wipers. They work on all speeds. The solvent sprays evenly across the windshield. And the wipers make good contact with the glass, right? Okay, so now I'm gonna perform a tuck test. Now I'm gonna perform a tuck test. First thing I'm going to do is make sure my air pressure is built to governor cutout between 120 and 140. We have to do that. In order to check your brakes, you got to make sure the air pressure is built up twice. If you do not, it's an automatic fail. So you want to hear the governor cutout. You're going to give it a little bit of gas to help it rise. So the governor cuts out. Now I'm gonna start my brake check. I'm gonna press in my clutch, put my vehicle in first gear, lift up a little. I will check my parking brake by pressing in my trailer brake, which is the red brake valve. I will lift up slowly off the clutch until I feel a small tug. That means my parking brake is working properly. Now, I will push in my parking brake to check my trailer brake. I will lift up slowly and give it a small tug. Okay, my trailer brake is working properly. Now I have to check my service brake by pushing in both my parking and my trailer brake. I will move forward approximately 6 feet. I'm gonna move that back. Press down my clutch, then my service brake. My vehicle did not pull to the left or the right, which means my service brake is working properly. Now I will put my vehicle back in neutral, lift up off my clutch, put my brakes out.
1 tomato, see you tomorrow. Peace and love, peace and love. Thank you, everybody. 1 tomato.